Hey yo, another Smackdown in the books, so you already know what that means. Let's get right into it, as this episode was 3 hours. So we start with the GM, Nick Aldis. He's in the ring, and you could tell he's pissed off because he got an RKO from Randy Orton last week. Randy Orton immediately goes to the ring after being invited, and they start chopping it up. Randy Orton starts saying, you know what? You can't think that you weren't gonna get hit with an RKO. There was a time I was acting up, and you fined me. I paid my fine. In fact, I paid double, just in case something like this would happen. So the way I see it, we're even. Randy Orton goes on to say, I don't care who I face at WrestleMania. I believe this is gonna be Randy Orton's 20th WrestleMania. So he says, Nick, I don't give a damn if you have to suit up. I need a match. If not, I can't guarantee I'll apologize to Mickie James for what I'll do if I don't get the match. I didn't realize Nick Aldis and Mickie James were dating, so that's a bit of a fun fact. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga come out, and basically Solo's like, yo bro, you're the past, you're old, nobody cares about Randy Orton anymore. Nobody wants to hear you whine, nobody wants to hear you complain. Essentially, they both jump in the ring, they beat down Randy Orton. Here comes LA Knight to the ring to make the save, and we get word that it's gonna be LA Knight and Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa later on in the night in a tag team match main event. Next is the gauntlet match. We have Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. They start up, and the way this works, you get, I believe it's 4 teams. 4 teams, and it's elimination style. So Bayley and Lyra start, and out first is Shayna and Zoe Stark. Match goes, Lyra pins Shayna and eliminates them. You have team 2, which is Natalya and Maxine Dupree. Now, as of late, Maxine Dupree has been trying to impress Natalya. They come out in the pink uniforms. Natalya's kind of iffy about the whole thing. The match is going on, and Maxine Dupree goes for a sharpshooter on, who does she have it on? She puts a sharpshooter on Bayley, or she tries, and Bayley immediately rolls her up. 1, 2, 3, they get eliminated. Natalya's standing outside the ring like, what the hell, why would you even try that? Third team, we get Carter and Chance. Lyra hits the finish on Chance to send them packing. The fourth team is Mia Yim and B-Fab. Bayley hits her finish on B-Fab. They get the win, they send them packing. And the final match is the Secret Hervis, where Bayley hits her finish on Alba Fire, followed by a top rope leg drop by Lyra for the win. They send them packing, and we get Bayley and Lyra going to face Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania for the tag team championships. That's gonna be a good match. I can't wait to do this predictions video. After that, we get Damian Priest headed to the ring, and then he immediately gets jumped by Drew McIntyre. As we've seen previous weeks, these guys have been going at it like cats and dogs. Drew McIntyre cuts a promo. He says everything he's done, it's been justified, and Damian Priest is only trying to capitalize. Every time Drew McIntyre gets into some bullshit, Damian Priest essentially capitalizes on that, and he only wants the street fight, which we found out it's gonna be. It's Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a street fight at WrestleMania, but Drew was basically saying that Priest only wants this match because the glass got in my eye. Well, look now, he takes off the eye patch, he's perfectly fine. He's gonna be 100% for WrestleMania. He says that means that Damian Priest is 100% screwed. Priest comes to the ring and they brawl, and it eventually gets to a spot where they head to the steel steps. And Drew McIntyre takes Damian Priest and gives him this crazy DDT. But the thing that was insane about this, I've never seen this facial expression that Damian Priest gave on somebody who's been alive before. I thought dude was out of here. I thought for a quick second, maybe he hit his head the wrong way. Maybe a piece of his skull got sent into his brain. I don't know, man, but that was kind of scary. Nobody's eyes should look like that as they still breathe life. Next, we get Berto versus Rey Fenix. And some of the things that Rey Fenix has been doing in this ring, I've never been so impressed watching somebody do in a ring. His work on the ropes, the only time I've ever seen somebody really, and I'm probably mistaken, WWE and wrestling in general has been around forever, but the only time I've seen anybody walk on the ropes like that has been The Undertaker. And even then, he's kind of holding the partner's arm, his did I say a partner? What the hell is that? His opponent's arm to kind of guide him slow. Still impressive. This is a 6-7 foot tall man walking on the ropes, but even still, he's walking on the rope and he's kind of holding on to his opponent's arms. Rey Fénix just jumps up there and essentially runs on the ropes like you or I would run on concrete. I've never seen anything like that before. These two put on a very clean match. They both have very similar styles, so it lends to each other. And Berto is actually a lot better than people give him credit for. I don't know if maybe they just don't have anything for him, but he was holding his own with Fénix. It takes two to tango. They put on a hell of a match. Berto eventually hits the, and like I have here, it's my most impressive, like the most impressed I've seen somebody move. Like it's my favorite move probably right now. The goodbye amigo kick, and that's when he runs on the rope and kicks his opponent in the face. He hits him with a Mexican muscle buster for the win. Post-match was a little bit weird because you have Santos Escobar running to the ring, and he essentially forces Berto to shake Fénix's hand, and then he himself goes over to Fénix and he basically grabs his hand and shakes it. I don't know. I don't really like people forcing people like themselves on other people like that. Extend your hand. And if somebody wants to shake it, they will. If not, they won't. I don't know. Little bit of a nitpick, but hey, that's just me. Next, we see Roxanne Perez backstage. She's usually on NXT. We're asked why she's there, and she says basically because she wants to compete at Mania for the championship. And almost 10 seconds after she says that, not even, Tiffany Stratton pops up. She's like, yo, like, you know I'm the champion. Were you talking about me? You know you'd have to face me, yada, yada, yada. What makes you think you're deserving? Essentially, we get Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton later on for the night. Another backstage segment, we see Chelsea Green knocking on the door of her Secret Service members. She's basically like, yo, I don't give a damn if you guys are injured. I need some help. I have a match coming up right now. Get out here. You're supposed to be by my side. You're my Secret Service, yada, yada, yada. You know how Chelsea Green is all up in her character. Love me some Chelsea Green. And Zelina Vega walks backstage. She's like, oh, I guess we'll see what kind of competitor you really are, because it's just one-on-one. You don't have your girls. This match starts, and it was one of the weirdest things I've seen. So the bell rings. Chelsea Green immediately drop kicks Zelina Vega out of the ring. The ref starts counting. You know, because if you're outside of the ring for the count of 10, you lose the match by count out. So, okay, boom. She gets kicked outside of the ring. Chelsea Green follows her. The ref's counting 1, 2, 3, such and such. Y'all know how to count. I don't even know why I started doing that. Ref starts counting. Chelsea Green, the count must be at like 5 or 6. Chelsea Green goes to throw the Zelina Vega in the ring, meaning Zelina Vega's safe. And Chelsea Green's kind of talking to the announce table. You know, she's a heel, she's a bad guy, she's playing up into her role, which she's phenomenal at. But she goes to go back in the ring and the referee counts 10. And you could hear a pin drop in that arena. Chelsea Green gets in the ring, now having technically lost the match. You could see the look on the commentator's desk's face. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. You could see the look on their face. They're standing up. The crowd's like, what the hell's going on? I was kind of confused. You can see Chelsea Green literally just speak to Zelina Vega. You can see Zelina Vega, she's still pretending like she's still selling her injury. Basically showing that she's still hurt, but you could see her mouthing to Chelsea. They're literally just having a quick conversation as to like, yo, what the hell happened? So supposedly, Chelsea Green legitimately didn't hear the count of 10 and she lost that match. But I'm pretty sure there have been situations like this in the past where the referee either says, hey, like, get in the ring, or he'll slow his count down, or he'll talk to some, like this guy literally just started counting to 10. And when that 10 came, he just said, yeah, 10, yeah, the match is over. I have here that thank God that Vince McMahon still isn't in charge, because he would have been pissed. Somebody would have definitely lost their match for this. I've never seen something like that before. Mistakes happen, and they'll move on. I actually read somewhere that this was well, not the count out, but Zelina Vega was supposed to win. So I guess, all in all, it didn't really hurt things too badly. They're professionals. That doesn't mean they can't make mistakes. Moving on. Dust yourself off. You'll get them next time. We get another backstage segment. Santos is basically giving Berto crap to losing to Fénix. I almost said Beth Phoenix. Ray Phoenix, because he was talking so much crap about him and then he goes out and loses. He's chilling there, they walk away, and then Andrade, who I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen on TV, he's basically like, yeah, Berto, you're good, man, don't worry, it happens, yada, yada, yada. And Berto's like, dude, just get out of my face, man. Mind your business. We get a Naomi promo, and she's looking phenomenal. She doesn't have the big afro this week. She kind of has her hair slicked back, and it kind of gave me like Razor Ramon vibes. She had razors in her hair. She had a razor necklace, if I'm not mistaken. She was looking mint. She has the dark eyeliner. Something about a heel Naomi is just woo. She basically calls Naomi Jade. Man, Naomi. Can't even get my thoughts together. Naomi calls Jade a snake and says if she didn't throw Jade on the windshield, then Jade would have done it to her. She says the fake loyalty is done and she's looking out for herself now, which I loved. I also saw on Instagram that people made a nice little reference towards the razors. She said this is Naomi cutting off Jade, cutting off all the fake loyalty, cutting people off. She's looking out for herself. Very nice touch. I love when a story can be told without speaking, if that makes any sense. So maybe you wear something that represents something else. Breaking Bad was actually phenomenal in doing that. So shout out to Naomi. Jade has a backstage pre-taped promo after this. She basically says she's pissed at Naomi for taking her out because she was basically insecure. She had a really nice line about stars. Now I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson, but Jade said, what does a star do when it starts losing its shine? It pulls shine from other things. And she was mad that Jade showed up with all this star power and she showed up with all this glow, as she said, that used to be Naomi's thing. So that was nice. She says at WrestleMania, a storm is coming. Again, I can't wait to do the predictions video because this is gonna be nice. We get Cody Rhodes in the ring and he has basically all the WWE championships. I'm pretty sure it's not all of them, but he has a nice majority of the WWE championships. And what this promo consisted of was him saying, like, yo, I have to prevent history regarding or talking about John Cena's winning his 17th championship. I have to prevent that to continue history of the company. And that was nice. That was nice wordplay. I really enjoyed that from Cody Rhodes. Cena says if he wins, he's gonna take the championship and leave. And then people there will have to get a fake title. So Cody Rhodes says, I need to prevent history to preserve history. That was fire. Up next, we got Street Fighters. Up next, we got the Street Profits in the back, and they have a quick little interview. But it really popped off when Miz and Mello interrupted. They basically said, "Yo, you guys are the tag team champions, and the damn titles aren't even being defended at WrestleMania. This is a joke. You guys need to get it together." Essentially, just crapping on them, which is. The thing that I like about The Miz, he's a heel, but he always has some truth behind what he's saying. Like, why aren't the tag team titles being defended at WrestleMania? You know, we have, a week left? WrestleMania's next week. So like, what's going on with that? Granted, we still have a Monday Night Raw and a Friday Night Smackdown to get through. I'm hoping we get the Street Profits versus The Miz and Mello. That would be a nice match. After that, we get Tiffany versus Roxanne Perez. The whole match, I'm wondering, when's Charlotte gonna pop up? When's Charlotte gonna pop up? I thought it was gonna be maybe during the match. Maybe she costs Tiffany Stratton the match, but it was after. Tiffany Stratton beats Roxanne Perez with the prettiest moonsault ever. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It literally is the prettiest moonsault ever. It's not just a name. But she pins Roxanne Perez, 1, 2, 3. Charlotte drags her out of the ring after the match. Post beat down, she throws her over the announce desk and she stands tall over her. Yeah, that's essentially what it was. I knew Charlotte was gonna show up. I just wasn't sure if it was gonna be post or during the match. She showed up after the match and she got a little bit more heat, as if Charlotte Flair needed it. But we get Randy Orton and LA Knight in the main event versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Match goes on. We get LA Knight hitting the BFT, blunt force trauma, on Tonga for the win. He's celebrating, and right behind him you see Jacob Fatu. He beats the hell out of him. He hits 3 finishers on him. He grabs the championship. He gives a little lick, which is so sinister. He throws it back to LA Knight, and the show ends. This WrestleMania is gonna be sick. I can't wait. Like I said, I kept mentioning a preview review, so it's gonna be a busy time for the channel, which is great. I appreciate everybody rocking with me, and I do have content. If I'm nothing else, I'm consistent. Hopefully I'm getting better. Hopefully you guys notice I'm getting better. I just want to put out the best content possible. So within the next week, we're gonna get a Raw review. We're gonna get Thursday Night Throwdown. We're gonna get Friday Night Smackdown review. We're gonna get a WrestleMania preview review. We're gonna get Saturday night's review for WrestleMania, night 1. And then we're gonna get Sunday night, night 2 of WrestleMania. So we got a lot to look forward to. I got a lot of work on my plate, but it's worth it. They say, it's cliche as hell, but they say, find something you enjoy doing and you don't feel like you're working. I don't feel like I'm working right now. Again, this is passion project. I mean, if I could get paid down the line, you know, I'm not really against that, but hey, I love doing this. Hopefully you guys love watching. I don't know, maybe you're just cleaning up right now and you just hear my voice in the background. I'm gonna do that thing when I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna end this. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Do that laundry. That laundry's probably in the washing machine still. Throw that in the dryer. Peace out.